Ladies and gentlemen, Raw 25 is past us, and we are now here, and we are now just days away from the Royal Rumble. Raw 25, it was exactly what you expected, but it did lack in some places. It was very strong in some places, but it did lack in many places, and I'm going to go over all that today. First of all, sorry for my rudeness. I'm going to introduce myself. My name is The Wrestling God here, obviously with another episode of the Live Mic Podcast. Every review and every prediction video is of the Live Mic Podcast. I don't think I'll have to title it as a Live Mic Podcast, because the true episodes of Live Mic Podcast will be up every weekend. Regarding, in this week of my of the Live Mic Podcast will be the Royal Rumble predictions, the NXT Takeover predictions, and things of that nature. So you guys have had such a great reaction to the New Japan Pro Wrestling videos. Keep that up. As always, if you like this video, drop a like right down below. If you dislike this video, drop a dislike. And if you always want to share your opinion, leave a comment. And if you like what you hear, like what you see, always hit that subscribe button. Raw 25 branched out from two different locations tonight. I don't think WWE has ran two locations like this since WrestleMania. I believe it was 2 or 3. I think it might have been 2. It was a good idea in retrospect, but they really didn't do a good execution of the two venue idea. The Manhattan Center really got the short end of the stick. The crowd was pretty pissed there, and you can see the crowd was all smarks in the Manhattan Center. It was no kids, no PG kids. That was all for the Barclays Center. The smarks were at the Manhattan Center. What else was there? I believe if it was up to me, the 3-hour Raw would have been at it would have been all at the Manhattan Center. That's kind of like a tribute to Monday Night Raw, where the roots are. But they did it their way, and people are gonna have their opinions. So as always, like this video, comment, subscribe. We're gonna get right into this. The pre-show. We got the pre-show team live from the Barclays Center. This was on YouTube. Rosenberg was there. David Otunga is back on the team, and they throw it to Jerry Lawler and Jim Ross at the Manhattan Center. I really love the feel of the Manhattan Center. The Manhattan Center's placement of Raw. It felt old school. It felt what's the word? It felt old school. It felt real. It felt authentic, and it felt like a classic episode of Monday Night Raw. Jerry Lawler has his classic attire on. I believe he said that was the attire that he wore on the first episode of Monday Night Raw 25 years ago. So that's pretty cool to see. And it was also very great to see Jerry Lawler and Jim Ross back. We get an APA segment. And the APA says they are open for tonight. Then they will promote a Kane, Lesnar, and Strowman segment for last night. Not sure why, and I'm not sure this was a mistake, but they built the Universal Championship match as the main event. Sam Roberts is then with the WWE Universe. He talks about how The Miz announced his, and they show a video of The Miz announcing his entry into this year's Royal Rumble match. More with The Miz later on tonight, and then Eric Bischoff comes onto the panel. He talks about how his days as general manager of Monday Night Raw, how the whole thing with him and Vince came about. I think we've heard that though about 1,000 times. But Bruce Pritchard tells us the best. More on Bruce Pritchard later as well. They will show a promo for the Undertaker, the same one that will show later on in the night. They showed Steph and Hunter's. They showed their appearance from Saturday. I believe the show Saturday Night Live. I loved it. I didn't have a lot of people. It's been circulating on social media. I have not seen it. It was actually pretty funny. And then we get into the main show of Monday Night Raw. We start off with JR and King at the Manhattan Center, and they talk about how special the night is. And they take us to the Barclays Center with Shane and Stephanie. Apparently they were buddy for the night. It was really weird having Shane lead kind of the celebration for Monday Night Raw when he's a SmackDown commissioner. We get a video package for Raw that was actually really cool. It leaked over the weekend. I believe WWE actually accidentally leaked it themselves. But it was awesome, real awesome to see. Looking back at all those moments, for Monday Night Raw. Some of those I was not a part of. Some of those I was, and it really felt good to look back on and see those moments. Stephanie introduces the chairman of the WWE and the creator of Monday Night Raw, Vince McMahon. We get a "Thank you, Vince" chant. Steph then will clarify the chant for Vince, who seemed uninterested and not like he doesn't really want the spotlight. And Vince says he isn't one to smell the roses, but tonight he's going to smell the roses. They smell so good, and Vince basks in the roses, and then he tells everyone good night and leaves the ring. It looks to leave the ring. Stephanie stops him, and they say that Steph and Shane got him a little something. Apparently, Shane and Steph started a GoFundMe account to make Vince a commemorative plaque, and it looks like it costs roughly $25 at your local trophy shop. Vince is not impressed either. He says it feels cheap, but then again, they are in Brooklyn. Vince being a great heat bag tonight. Vince wants to get this straight. Everyone wants to chip in and give him a plaque. He talks about how plaque is a thing that's on all these fans' teeth. He says he has one person to thank, and it's no one in this arena. The crowd is loud with their a-hole chant. Vince then thanks himself. He didn't need us. He didn't need his family. No one, just him. No one person in the world has ever helped him. The glass shatters, and out comes Stone Cold Steve Austin. And it has been years since we've heard like a big pop from, I haven't heard a big pop like that in so long. Maybe since Daniel Bryan has won the championship. That pop was just so loud, and it gave me chills. The pop, the entrance, the just the everything. Oh my God, I miss Stone Cold. Vince wants to try and explain a few things. He says a lot of things have changed. He said Stone Cold looks great, but Mother Nature has not been too kind to Vince. He says he's a member of AARP now. He's got heart problems. He is now a senior citizen. But Shane, he tries to throw Shane to the Lions Den. He says, but Shane's in his prime. Austin oblige. Shane looks at Austin, stands back a bit, and he asks Stone Cold Steve Austin for a handshake. Big mistake there. He says he has wait, I looked up somewhere. Austin obliges and holds Shane's hands up. A stunner to Shane. Austin music hits. He turns to Vince, and Vince has 2 cans of beer as the crowd chants one more time. Vince things goes, I don't think Shane could take another one. Vince and Austin cheer. Vince is slow to drink. He then chugs one and hugs Austin. Vince holds Austin's hand in the air, pouring beer on Shane in the process. Austin finishes his beer, hugs Vince again, and allows Vince to walk away. Vince then stops, frozen. He turns to Austin, then tells him no. It's pretty weird. They cheer once again. Austin with the stunner to Vince. Shane gets up again. Another stunner for Shane. Okay. We have an 8-woman tag team match. Team Absolution attacks before the match, and we have a brawl already. Asuka with the hip attack to Sonya Deville. Let's see what we got here. We get a commercial break. Back, and Asuka hits a knee to Mandy Rose and a Shining Wizard to Rose. Am I missing something here? I'm missing something here. Yeah, I was looking in the wrong place. Okay, found my notes for that match. Banks is in, and so is Nia Jax. Sasha with a Shining Wizard to Nia. Spinebuster by Nia to Sasha. Northern Light Suplex by Alicia Fox to Sasha. Alicia with the headlock, aka rest hold on Sasha. A commercial break happened, and I typed, pretty sure when we come back, it'll be a rest hold or right before a hot tag. We're back, and yep, we're building up to a hot tag, which I thought. The women would brawl on the outside. Bank statement by Sasha. Alicia Fox taps. Asuka dumps Mickey over the top rope. Asuka destroys everyone and throws everyone over the top rope. Backstage, Angle was talking to one of the referees. How WWE will not be able to afford another incident with Brock, Braun, and Kane. In comes Coach. He says he sees too many of his old friends, and every time he hits a corner, it's someone you least expect. In come Harvey and the Brooklyn Brawler. We get another knock, and Teddy Long is here to dance. He shakes the hand of Kurt and then gives a high five with Coach. Another knock, and we get Brother Love, Bruce Pritchard. He calls Kurt Brother Olympic Boy. He then tells Coach he loves him. Next comes the Boogeyman, who actually looked in pretty good shape. He chews on some worms as everyone stares awkwardly. Boogeyman pulls some worms out of his mouth and puts them in Coach's hand. And Cole goes, "How did Coach worm his way in here?" So, hold on, man. Trying to make sure this microphone's working pretty good. But did you just say that Cole, whoever gave Cole that line, or if that's Cole's line, he just needs to be fired. We get a commercial, and they advertise the Undertaker from the Manhattan Center. We head back, and JR and Jerry Lawler are at ringside. JR brings up the Undertaker. We get a look back at the Undertaker in all of his moments on Monday Night Raw. The Undertaker makes interest, and it was pretty weird to not have the lights on. He makes a short walk to the ring and enters. Howard Finkel introduced the Undertaker. We get a loud Undertaker chant as he looks on to the crowd. I wrote this down. I believe Undertaker will show up at the Barclays Center later on in the night. We didn't get that. And he cuts his promo. Hold on. Yep, Taker cut his promo. Where did I put my notes for the promo? I know I put my notes for the promo somewhere. They've got to be somewhere. Hold on. My Taker notes have got to be somewhere in here. Well, what Taker basically talked about was how he made a lot of victims in Monday Night Raw, and how he destroyed a lot of people in Monday Night Raw, and basically, I'm not sure what that promo was about. Really, it was weird. It was very awkward. But we're moving on from that right there. We get backstage. The APA is playing poker with Heath Slater and Rhino. JBL calls, and Heath drops a pair of threes. JBL wins the hand. He says he has a kid. JBL says yeah, and their daddy is broke. A knock on the door is heard, and a stack of money is dropped on the table. It's the $1 Million Man. He asks what their price is, and then laughs it up. I love the $1 Million Man's laugh. And then Teddy takes a seat at the table. Back to the Barclays, we get a general manager rundown. Johnny Ace is first. John Laurinaitis, as he comes out looking pretty good. With a red suit. William Regal is out, the GM of the year every year for NXT. Eric Bischoff is out. And lastly, the general manager of SmackDown, The Miz. The Miz comes out, and he teases, tension with Daniel Bryan. The Miz and Roman Reigns will come out after that to a mixed reaction, of course. We get Reigns versus Miz. The Miz was scowling at Reigns for the match. They get a lockup. Reigns will overpower the Miz, shoving him into the corner. Another lockup attempt after Roman stares down the crowd. The Miz escapes the ring, then punches Reigns. He hops onto the top rope and flies with an axe handle, only for Reigns to attack with a hard punch. Reigns leaves the ring, notices Miz is hanging over the bottom rope. Bo is there to stop it. Reigns hits a right-handed Bo. Miz slides through the ropes, attempting a kick to Reigns, but Reigns sidesteps and hits an uppercut. The ref checks on Miz as Reigns hops on the apron. Curtis Axel interrupts, and Miz kicks Reigns off the apron. He leaves the ring and sends Reigns to the steps. We go to a commercial break. We are back from the break to see Reigns hitting a clothesline. Miz stands in the corner, only for Reigns to hit him with a bunch of clotheslines. Reigns hits the ropes and bounces back with a big boot. Miz is down. Reigns leaves the ring. Drive by from Reigns. Miz is in the ring. Reigns is in next. Miz up in the corner. Reigns rushes and Miz moves. Reigns hits his shoulder in the corner. Miz pins him. He uses the ropes. He almost gets it. 1, 2, no. Miz with the yes kicks in the middle of the ring. Miz's final kick is blocked, and Reigns picks Miz up for a power bomb for a 2 count. Bo Dallas and Curtis Axel take Miz out of the ring and try to give him some time. Reigns attacks both of them, then sends Axel into the apron and Bo into the ring post. Reigns sends Axel into the timekeeper's area. Miz attacks from behind. He sends Reigns into the ring, goes for skull crushing finale. Reigns tosses him aside. Superman punch for a 2 count. Reigns is up in the corner. He waits. Bo Dallas holds onto the foot of Reigns. Miz with the clothesline. The ref saw it. He yells at both Bo and Axel, and he sends them both to the back, and they are both banned from ringside apparently. So the Miz is now left to his own devices, and as you will see, sometimes that brings out the best in these guys. Next up, we get Reigns rolls him up. Dallas and Axel on the apron. Reigns sends them both flying. Skull crushing finale. 1, 2, no. The Miz wants another one. He locks in a full Nelson. Reigns with the elbow and a third, and then a fourth. He hits a hard one. Miz releases the hold. Reigns goes for a hard spear. Miz moves. Reigns hits the second turnbuckle. There is no pad on the turnbuckle. Reigns hits the steals. Hits the steel. Skull crushing finale. The Miz covers. 1, 2, 3. We get a new IC champion. The Miz has reclaimed his Intercontinental Championship. Backstage, the poker game is getting intense with the Usos. Jeff Hardy and MVP joining. Great to see MVP and great to see Jeff Hardy as well. In the ring, Christian is here to host the Peep Show. He welcomes us all to the Peep Show. Christian has some guests who won their titles on the first night that they teamed. He introduces Seth Rollins, Jason Jordan. Christian asks for an update, and Seth tries to tell him, but Jordan interrupts, and Jason Jordan was awesome in this segment. Every time Jordan speaks, however, the crowd boos him. He says it's amazing, but the crowd keeps shutting him down. He says it's an honor to be in the presence of Christian and all the other legends. He wanted to thank all the fans for support, but mostly to congratulate his dad. The crowd is just booing him relentlessly. He wants everyone to stand up and give Angle a big round of applause. The music of Sheamus and Cesaro hit. Sheamus tells Jordan that he's got it all wrong. All the legends have been in line all day to get their autographs. And he talks about how they are the bar. Funny enough, those same legends have the same exact sentiment. They fully expect to reclaim the tag team titles. In fact, they thank Sheamus and Cesaro in advance for doing so. Cesaro says it's not Jordan's dad, it sucks. It's Jordan who sucks. Cesaro and Sheamus lead a loud "You suck" chant. Jordan gets pissed and attacks. Sheamus is sent to the outside. Seth with a suicide dive to Sheamus. Seth hops on the apron. Jordan holds the arms back of Cesaro. Seth springboards, goes for that knee, but Cesaro moves and Seth hits Jason Jordan with that springboard knee, dropping him in the process. After that, backstage, Charlie Caruso is backstage with Alexa. Charlie brings up the Rumble. Does Alexa think she will still be champion come Mania? Alexa is insulted. She isn't just a champion. She is a goddess. And comes Charlotte Flair to interrupt. She says the only reason Alexa is champ is because she is on SmackDown Live. She says Alexa doesn't have the size or the pedigree. She quotes her father about being the man, and if she doesn't believe it, why not ask Ric Flair? In comes Flair, who says that Charlotte will be champion until Charlotte decides to hang the robe up, and they do a big old woo. Backstage again, the poker game is getting larger. Natty wins over Slater again. Dana is here to crunch the numbers. Slater has lost a lot of money, and that apparently leads to a match with Titus Worldwide. Bray Wyatt is at the Manhattan Center. King was thoroughly impressed by the fact that Bray Wyatt can blow out an electric lantern. Matt Hardy is next, and apparently they were giving this match away for free. I thought it was going to be a Royal Rumble match, but, each his own. We get a lockup to start. Matt Hardy runs into the ropes and then nearly eats his sister Abigail. He escapes and sends Wyatt into the corner. Matt attacks the back of Wyatt in the corner. in the corner while JR questions what the heck Sister Abigail is. Matt hits a Russian leg sweep, then hops on the second rope. He waits for Bray Wyatt to stand and hits an elbow on the back of the head. Matt waits, kicks, goes for Twist of Fate, but Bray escapes and hits a huge crossbody in the middle of the ring. JR drops the word slobber knocker, and then we go to commercial. Back from a break, and Matt hits a jawbreaker. He blocks the right hand and hits a few of his own, then does the delete headbutts in the corner. Matt screams and hits a clothesline in the corner. Bulldog has escaped, and Bray goes for a splash. Matt dodges. Bray hangs upside down. Matt screams at happiness. Bray is pretty confused. He runs into a side effect. He gets a cover only for a 2 count. We get a delete chant. Kick to Bray. Goes for another Twist of Fate, but Bray pushes forward to get some freedom. Bray would clip Matt, who hung himself on the second rope. Sister Abigail from Bray for the 1, 2, 3. JoJo introduced some of the greatest female superstars of the last 25 years. The Bella Twins are out first. Maurice is next with a baby bump there. She's still beautiful. Kelly is out next. Lillian Garcia is announced next. Jacqueline is here. Tori Wilson's out next, and she is still very gorgeous. Michelle McCool, the Undertaker's wife, made an appearance. And Terry Reynolds. Maria Kanellis comes out, and Trish Stratus out next and last. But if you guys weren't gonna do anything with the Divas, what was your the women's wrestlers? What was your point of even? Okay, whatever. WWE, do your thing. Backstage, Jericho stops Elias. He does have his Alpha Club shirt on. And that's to borrow his guitar to sing a little song for him. This ends in Jericho putting Elias in the stupid scarves on the list. Elias is in the ring now for a song of his own. The crowd chants stupid idiot while Elias argues back and forth between playing and not playing. Elias then points out Jimmy Fallon being in the crowd, and yes, there he is. Elias wants to show Jimmy how it's done. Elias finally starts playing as Jimmy watches. Elias sings a short song about the legends, and even calling Taker a decrepit old man. He mentions The Rock and says he still sucks. Out comes John Cena. He comes down to the ring, and the crowd is split as usual. He says that both he and Brooklyn have balls. Cena's mentioning the beach balls in the crowd. Security takes the beach ball away. The crowd is chanting a-hole. Cena says they're in the Big Apple. They're chanting Big Apple. Elias tells Cena to shut his mouth. He says no one wants to hear Cena. They came to hear Elias, and Cena ruined it. Cena considers this and then tells Elias to do something about it, but Cena removes his shirt and squares up. Elias says that's not how it works. He doesn't take orders from John Cena, and doesn't take orders from these Brooklyn scumbags either. He fakes leaving, then attacks. But Cena almost hits the 5 moves of doom. Attitude adjustment, but no. Elias floats off, low blow to Cena. Elias heads outside, grabs his guitar and smacks it across Cena's back. And Elias just hits the drift away on John Cena. The poker game has now added the New Day. $1 Million Man won that. We get a backstage segment with Mark Henry and the Godfather, basically kind of retiring the Godfather whole character. Not much we talk about there. This is when the show started getting a little cringeworthy. Rhino and Heath Slater had a match against Titus Worldwide. The match ended with the Brawl. I'm not even going to talk about that match. It wasn't even worth my time. The Dudley Boys came out afterwards, and they hit a 3D through a table on Heath Slater. That's it. We get AJ Styles backstage, and he does an interview about his championship match. Mean Gene Okerlund was the one interviewing him, which that was pretty cool. We go to the Manhattan Center, and DX is here. HBK says everyone. Well, they basically talked about how they really want to thank everyone for 25 years of Raw. DX has always been at the forefront. They talk about Rick Rude in China. Like I said, DX came here because at his home, and Triple H says he didn't come alone. Oh, you didn't know? Here comes Road Dogg and Billy Gunn. Road Dogg wants to get down to the nitty-gritty. He does his intro, and then Road Dogg introduces X-Pac. X-Pac wants Manhattan Center to raise some hell and make some noise. He knows this is a DX reunion. 1, 2, 3 chant. Out comes Razor Ramon. We get a commercial. We're back, and Razor's hey yo, and says you can have a party on Raw without the bad guy. And the party is just too sweet. And oh my god, I was hoping once I heard Scott Hall was going to be on the show, and I heard the DX reunion. I was hoping so much that a Balor Club DX, like a passing of the torch, sort of what happened, and it happened. Finn, Anderson, and Gallows into the ring. Too Sweet chant from the crowd as Balor smiles. Triple H holds up the Too Sweet sign in the air, and so does everyone else. And they all do a big Too Sweet in the ring. Billy Gunn's about to say suck it, but the Revival's music hit, and they are not very happy. We get a tag team match between the Balor Club and the Revival, and the Revival were jobbed out to the Balor Club. That's it. I'm not really going into detail about that because I'm pretty pissed off about that. I'm a Balor Club guy, but come on, the Revival. After the match, everyone hits their finishers on the Revival. That's it. We go back to the Barclays Center. All the legends are around the ring. No superstars as well. We get a big brawl here. I'm just gonna go through the highlights of the brawl because Raw really started to piss me off. What was the point of having legends out there if nobody even attempted to stop the men from wrestling? Brock rushes down to the ring. Brock meets Strowman with the clothesline in the ring. Braun sends Brock over the top rope. He then sends Brock into the barricade. Brock hit Kane with the F5. Braun wipes the announce table clean, running power slam through the table to Brock. Braun music hits, and he heads to the center of the ring. So that was Monday Night Raw. If I had to give the show a rating, I'd give it a 7.5 out of 10. Would have had a higher rating if they would have done more with the Manhattan Center. Actually gave Manhattan Center more matches, and didn't have these stupid stupid things that didn't even belong. Like, why is Heath Slater and Rhino in a pointless tag team match against Titus Worldwide? I don't know, man, but it was a pretty good Raw. Hopefully, I'll be reviewing Raw 50 one day. Wishful thinking, huh? Well. Hey guys for watching. I'll be reviewing SmackDown Live tonight, and this weekend I'll be giving my takeover predictions and my Royal Rumble predictions in the live mic podcast. Thank you guys so much for watching. This is the Wrestling God here. As always, like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you when I see you. Peace.